സാറേ തുടങ്ങാം. ഞാനൊന്ന് ഇവിടെ ഒന്ന് ലൈവ് ചെയ്തോട്ടെ സാറേ. Namaskaram all. I am very sorry. There was some technical problems. That is why it was a delay there. Anyway, Namaskaram. We shall start the day 5. A very good evening to all. By the way, we were talking in the intro session about Sadadadhyana last day. The next one is Vada. Vada, we already talked about it, the Vada, the day before yesterday. And now the next one is Paratantra Avalokanam. There were many Shastras in ancient India, mostly having a common background, Samskrita Bhasha and Darshana. Here the term Paratantra represents such Shastras which are somehow related with the Ayurveda. Acharya advises a scholar, an ardent scholar, to have an overlay on such Shastras too by the term Avalokana. This is relevant in the current days as well, where there are many health-related contemporary streams which are also to be referred. The thing to be kept in mind for analyzing and interpreting contemporary modern science is that we must have a firm footing in our own Shastra first, so that we can integrate necessary knowledge from the other sciences without any bias, without losing ours. That is why Acharya mentioned the Paratantra Avalokana only after Sadadadhyana. And there is a great difference between the words Adhyana and Avalokana. And that's all about Paratantra Avalokana. We are running out of time, so that I am getting into the session. Now, a few words about our Gurunathan, on whose remembrance the Sameeksha is being conducted. Padma Bhushanam Vaidya K. Raghavan Tirunulpadu was born on 20th May 1920 and passed away on 21st November 2010. In his 90 years of lifespan, we can identify a multi-talented persona, proficient in diverse knowledge streams such as Ayurveda, Samskrita, Jyotisha, Naturopathy, philosophy, and lot many more. He was a non-public figure, skilled physician, environmentalist, ardent Gandhian follower, philosopher, expert columnist, and even a politician. His unique way of understanding and explaining the Shastra made him a hub of wisdom in his time, bringing out many brilliant scholars. He has written around 40 books in various topics, published articles, and delivered authentic discourses on Shastra all throughout his career. He will continue to motivate us forever with his timeless teachings, writings, and through the Shishya Parampara he initiated. And about Tirumulpad Foundation, it is a platform to discuss Shastra in its original context, founded by our Gurunathan. Foundation is exclusively acting with a mission to preserve the originality of the Shastra and to promote it among the scholars and the society generally. And about Vagbhata Sameeksha, it's a unique Shastra Parishad, where intensive discussion on basic principles of Ayurveda, and it's is conducted, previously conducted as 2 days program. This year we are conducting it as a 7-day program in national level, and in the evening sessions we are organizing Tadvidya Sambhasha, conversations on Sarvaroga Nidana, designed in such a way that there will be 2 experts sharing their valuable experiences, and the whole discourse will be moderated by a skilled discussant. Now, let me introduce our panelists for the day. The Tadvidya Sambhasha on the topic of Samprapthhi. First of all, Vaidya P Muraleedharan sir. I must say there is no introduction needed among Ayurveda community for sir. Yet formally, I am introducing He's one among the first batch graduates from Ayurveda College, Kottakkal. He had long tenure as a teacher at different Ayurveda colleges. Muraleedharan sir has served as principal at the Coimbatore Ayurveda College and later Ayurveda College, Chennai. He's an exponent of scientific Ayurveda. Sir is currently working as senior consultant physician at Kerala Ayurveda Samajam, Shornur, Kerala. He's usually invited as a reputed dignitary in expert scientific sessions with his unique wisdom in Shastra. His students, who are currently the ambassadors of Ayurveda across the globe, from the great model Coimbatore Ayurveda school, established by the legend late P Krishna Kumarji, respects Muraleedharan sir with great love and humility and considers him as their foremost mentor. I reverently invite K P Muraleedharan sir to this Sambhasha. Welcome, sir. Now, our next expert is Vaidya Sourabh S. Kokatnur. Completed his graduation from Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli, obtained his post-graduation in Samhita Siddhanta from the same institution. He is currently pursuing his PhD from RGHS Bangalore. Since 2016, he is working as assistant professor in the Department of Samhita and Siddhanta in the same college, Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli. He has written a few books in Ayurveda and published many articles in reputed scientific journals. He has also presented papers in many scientific seminars and has won many prestigious awards for his academic excellence. He is known for his devoted dedication towards Shastra among the Ayurveda community. I heartily welcome Vaidya Sourabh ji to this Sambhasha. Welcome. Now, our discussant, Vaidya Gopikrishna S. He has completed his graduation from SDM Ayurveda College, Udupi in 2002 and secured his post-graduation in Agatha Tantra from Government Ayurveda College, Thiruvananthapuram. He is currently working as assistant professor in the Department of Agatha Tantra, VPSV Ayurveda College, Kottakkal. He is a brilliant teacher with an experience of 12 years in teaching and guides both UG and PG students. He has presented papers as a resource person in many scientific seminars and has published many articles. His brilliant yet humble attitude is a lesson for upcoming Vaidyas. I gladly invite Vaidya Gopikrishna sir to this Sambhasha. Welcome, sir. With a prayer to our great gurus to enlighten our prajna, I invite our panelists to the Sambhasha and I am handing over the dais to the discussant. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash sir. Vagartha viva sampraktau, Vagartha pratipataye, Jagatah pitarau vande, Parvati Parameshwarau. Today's topic is going to be one of the most important factors for discussion as far as Vyadhi Vinishya is concerned, and also Chikitsa is concerned, because when we go back several years, when we were students, we had always seen our teachers with their astonishing approach towards the disease and their management. We have always carried those results in our mind till date, and probably it may go on till we practice. The way they had treated the cases and the way miracles had happened. After a few years from our student life, we start our career as start our life as practitioners and teachers, go deeper into the textbooks and their concepts. Now, those miracles happened. What we had thought were actually miracles which were made to happen because of their thorough, in-depth knowledge on the concepts and on the basic principles that they had stuck on each and every patient, the method of diagnosis, the way of management, and the results they had rendered. So miracles don't happen in our science. Miracles are actually made to happen. For this, the prime important factor that we have to consider are the basic principles, what exactly is going on for the past 4 days, and today also as a continuation of these basic concepts. Our area is Samprapti. And one more thing which is very important here is to materialize all these concepts, we need a good Shastra Mathana. And for that Shastra Mathana to be successful, its end result has to be successful. So it is our duty to completely churn out what the experts have to suggest, have to advise for us today. And we have to incorporate all these concepts to the patients. And the end result benefiter is the patient who has to get free from his disease. Then only every Mathana, every Shastra is complete. Coming directly onto the topic, our discussion today is Samprapti, what, how, and why. These three words have a clear-cut demarcation that we have to keep in today's discussion. What is a completely theoretical aspect from where we have to see, we have to see. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
So, what, how, and why are two perspectives, even though the question are three. What is to be got from the theoretical side, from the textbook, and that has to be implemented on various sampraptis. We have to get the patient, we have to put all those theories into the patient, and then only how and why can be answered. So let us maximum try our level best to make it practical. And by keeping these things in mind, let us start the discussion. And when we think of the word Samprapti, the first and foremost definition that we get is Yatha Dushtena Doshena, Yatha Cha Anuvisarpatam, Nirvritti Amayasya Asau, Sampraptihi Jatiragatihi. This has three cardinal words where Yatha Dushtena Doshena, Yatha Cha Anuvisarpatam, Nirvritti Amayasya Asau. These three terms have a lot of things to be discussed, because from where a Samprapti has to begin, and till when, till what extent it has the continuation in the progression of a disease, and when it has maximum role in the treatment, and whether the very term Nidana Panchaka and the word Samprapti is to be brought as only one factor of the Nidana Panchakas. By beginning from these questions, I move on to respected Muraleedharan sir. Sir, what are your views on this basic definition of Samprapti and these 3 or 4 basic questions regarding Samprapti? Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaskaram to everybody. I will just give a small explanation to what our friend has already said. The main shloka is Yatha Dushtena Doshena, Yatha Cha Visarpada, Nirvurti Ramayasyasav, Sampraptir Jadiragati. Samprapti is a very huge subject, because from the beginning of the dushti of dosha up to the manifestation of the disease is one continuous process. Still, You see Nidhanam, Purvarupani, Rupani, Upashaya, then a Samprapti. This Samprapti, why it is said like that? Nidhanam means two meanings, one pathology, another cause. That was explained only for that purpose. Knowing Nidhanam, we can understand a lot of things. Bala of the disease and such other things. Purva Rupa also. How many Purva Rupas? What is the strength? What is the intensity? And what is the inference we get from that as a use? When you come to Samprapti, when Acharya makes Samprapti one factor among many others, he means a total background understanding. Here in Ythadushtena Doshena, he is explaining the Samprapti which is put after Upashaya. So when he puts again Samprapti, actually the whole Nidhana, everything is Samprapti. But again he says Samprapti because he explains that it is Yathadushtena Doshena Yathacha Anuvisarpata Amayasya Asau Nirvurti. Amayasya Asau Nirvurti means Asau, the specific, this specific onset, Nirvurti, of the disease. So it is not the knowledge we acquire from just Nidhana like that. Nidhana are gross understandings. This is, of course, this is the understanding of Nidhana, everything is there, but in a different way. What is that different way? That different way is what is said in the Sutrasthana. Dosha, Dhatu, Roga, Marga, a lot of factors are there in Ayurveda. All these things are explained in Gunakarma combinations. That is the understanding. When you say Yathadushtena, you mean property and function. Vata aggravated by roughness. Vata aggravated by cold. Like that. Yathadushtena means according to Gunakarma Vikalpa. This is what in the first chapter he said, all the doshas, dhatus, everything are explained in combinations of properties, and he shows 63 combinations, permutations and combinations, and then say, you elaborate like this, it becomes infinite. Anandyam taradamayogadaschayasan janiya. So everything you take in one picture of Gunakarma Vikalpa. This is the meaning of Yathadushtena, Doshena. There's a wide spectrum, very subtle understanding. Actually, the intuitive physicians, old physicians were the intuitive physicians. When you indulge deep into what is the state in terms of Gunakarma permutations and combinations, is a very big psychedelic picture. And you get instant understandings from this. I'm not sure, I will tell you one example. I'm not sure about it because it's not a small thing, it's a very big thing. I will tell you one just example to explain how a person goes through Gunakarma Vikalpa to treatment. Some few years back, I had a fracture, a big fracture. So I had a surgery. The doctor gave me calcium and vitamin D and advised me to take this for 2 years. He said, you are above 60, you will take four months. Then only it will fuse properly. It was a complete fracture of femur. I didn't take that calcium and all these things. I had a lot of blood loss due to surgery. and pain, all these things, fever, especially fever. When you experience something, you can go deep into it. So I was thinking about several medicines. In the end, I managed the situation with the Dhanvantaram plus the Akshadi Kashayam. But when I was thinking deep into it, this Jivantyadi Kashaya, which is for Masuri, Vispoda, Vadika Vispoda, it was coming into my mind. But it was very strange. When you have a fracture, you think about Jivantyadi Kashaya. I wanted to discuss with some people, but I was afraid that the other person, when I say this, will think I am mad. So I didn't explain this to anybody. Later, one of my students came with some medicine for me. The main medicine in that was Jivantyadi Kashayam added with bark of a tree called Itingil. Itingil is a North Kerala language. It's an old Vaidya prescription. He got it from a very old Vaidya. In the fracture case, this is what they are giving. So see how they make the combinations. That Itingil, he could have put in Dhanvantaram Kashayam or Marma Kashayam or something. This put in Jivantyadi Kashayam. So why? When you look at Kushta, Visarpa, then Vispoda. Kushta, the Ashraya Dhatus are Tvak, Lasiga, Rakta, and Mamsa. The same in Visarpa also. Both are Vida here. Kushta and Visarpa, when you come to Visarpa, it is Krishna Vida. When it comes to Vispoda, it is Vadika. And Dhatu, Ashraya Dhatu is change. In the place of Lasiga, Asti Dhatu comes. See how the old Vaidya thinks. This is the going deep into Gunakarma Vikalpa. Otherwise, one cannot imagine to give Jivantyadi Kashayam added with something to a fracture patient. When it came to my mind, I didn't realize about it clearly. When I got the medicine, then I was thinking about that, then I understand this connection. So this is one type of Samprapthai. Just like there are in mathematics, there are intuitive mathematicians. Now we know about 4 intuitive mathematicians. They just go to answer because they see the most subtle, innermost picture of the problem. In the same way, just with Gunakarma Vikalpa, it goes to infinity. Anandyam Tardama Yogatasya. If you can do that, that's enough. And that will be astonishing also. There were Vaidyas like that. I have seen Dr. N.K. Musal, who taught us in Kottakkal. He was mostly, his way was like this. That is the most basic Samprapti. That is explained as Yatha Dushtena Doshena Yathacha Anuvisarpada. Anuvisarpada means when it goes on in the body through different systems and different dhatus, Ashraya dhatu, then dhatu gatatvam, the disease attacks the dhatu, everything is different. Everywhere you get a picture of Gunakarma Vikalpa. So here the words, what we should be careful about is, one is this Yatha Dushtena Doshena means what is the Gunakarma Vikalpa picture of the combination of dosha, dhatu, all these things. And the Roga Marga, a lot of explanations are there. So everywhere we have to imply this. Another thing, Yathacha Anuvisarpata. We must be very careful about, carefully note, we should carefully note the words. These words are from Rishis. Visarpada is spreading. Anuvisarpada means goes by something else. Why that anu? Because the usual work of dosha is already there. Along with that, side by side, the pathological dosha goes. That is why the anu. Generally, in psychosomatic diseases or psychoneurosis, graha, buddha, they will say anushamsa. That means your consciousness as yourself is there. But another personality with another quality of mind is nearby you. Sometimes it takes over you. It is called anushangam. Graha vesham is anushangam. The same way, when they use the word anu, it shows that all the pathology in Samprapti, the gunakarma vikalpa of pathological doshas, you have to see in the background of doshas which carries on in the natural way to keep the health. Anu Visarpa. Then why the word Visarpa? Visarpa means the matter is not pushed by something, that itself is moving. The thing itself is moving. That is Visarpa. How can a thing itself can move? It is explained in Sushruta about, say, when he said about kopa. Kopa is fermentation. Ulkrishtam, the dosha becomes ulkrishtam. And like the precipitate of liquor ferments and starts moving by itself. That is example he gave for kopa. Vinodaka pishta samavaya iva udriktana prasaro bhavati. Actually, the kopavastha is this. We make a big mistake. Kopa is just going outside, going to other symptoms. Acharya didn't say that. When you include prasaram and kopa in one factor, you call it kopa. That's all. Actually, kopa, if you just skip the actual kopa, there is fermentation, vidaha. In Malayalam, we say pudikuva, fermentation. Then only the kopa comes. This is what the same the naturopathy people say, with amla only you get all disease. Avoid all amla and you are healthy. That is not absolutely right. To some extent they are right, because the correct theory is Shuddha Amla. That is combination of Snigdha and Ushna in the proper way, in the Prakriti way, should be there. And that is the Agni, which carries on all the changes in the body in the natural way. The same is the cause of disease also. Vidagdha, improper combination of Siddha and Ushna is Vidaha. And Vidaham is the cause of Shofa. And all the diseases, spatial nature of all the diseases is Jwara. Temporal nature of all the diseases is Shofa. So that is the theory. So this is also a Samprapti. It will come again next. I will explain it next. So Visarpanam means the dosha is in Kopavastha, the fermented. And like the Udrikta Avastha, Vinodaka Pishta Samavaya, Udrikta na, it goes. That is why the word Visarpa. Nirvurti Ramasya Asau means Asau Nirvurti. That means not the other, which is explained by the whole factors. Nidanam, Purva Rupani, Rupani, that's different. This is a specific Samprapti where you take all the situation starting from the beginning of the dosha increase or dushti or whatever, even outside factor, everything. You take in Gunakarma Vikalpa. When it comes to the body, it affects a particular dhatu or a particular srotas. So what is the combination of Gunakarma Vikalpa there? So it's a continuous thing of Gunakarma Vikalpa step by step. That's what is Dhanandyam Taradama Yoga Tasyaya Sanjaniya. This is the Samprapti said here. Otherwise, we don't need a Samprapti again after starting from the dosha, Nidhanam, Purva Rupa, Rupa, like that. This is one way of explaining. The synonyms is a Jati. Jati is Janma, constant. Again, that also is explained, not just Janma, it is Doshedi Kartavyata Upalakshitam Vyati Janma. Dosha Idikartavyata Upalakshitam Vyati Janma. Idikartavyata means, when we say I am Idikartavyata Mutha means I don't know what to do. Idikartavyata is what should be done in the usual proper way. That is the Idikartavyata. Dosha Idikartavyata is the dharma of dosha. In the background of that, what is Upalakshitam? Now you see dosha behaving in a different way in different places. So, keeping in mind the prakriti of the person, the course of the disease, all these things you have to get into Gunakarma picture. And then now, what is Upalakshitam? Side by side Lakshitam is a pathological movement of progression. That is, in that way, you explain the onset is Janma. Janma is Jnana. Agati again same. Agatirhi Utpadaka Karanasya Vyadhir Janana Pajantam Gamana. A cause starts the mutation and it travels up to the Vyakti of the disease. There are also in Gunakarma Vigalpa explanations it should go. That is why again he put a Samprapta. He actually means the intuitive thought process of Ayurveda. Anandam Karama Yoga Dashaya. Then he explains that Sankhya Vigalpa Pradhanya Paragala Visheshata Sa Vidyade. The Sankhya Vigal Sankhya that everybody knows. There are 8 in that. Karana adds another one called difference between Vidhi and Sankhya is Vidhi Prakara. Prakara is Anyayavan Prakara, Vidanyayo Prakara.
Sir, shall I have the opinion of Sourabh sir also regarding the basic question that we were discussing? Shall I get back to you again, sir?
Yes.
Sir, regarding that question, I will get back to you. And Sourabh sir, may I get your viewpoint regarding the specific words like Dushtena Doshena, Anuvisarpadam, or Nirvritti?
Yes.
I request for the audience to mute their mics, please. Thank you.
Yeah, namaskaram to all over here. Upasthitaः सर्वे विद्वज्जनाः चरणारविन्दयोः साष्टाङ्गं प्रणिपत्य अत्र यथामति किञ्चित् विषयचर्चा प्रारम्भं कुर्मः. As sir was saying, यथा दुष्टेन दोषेण यथा चानु विसर्पतः निवृत्तिः आमयस्य असौ. The verse is very beautiful. To understand this, we need scholars like Muraleedharan sir or Murali sir. At the outset, we may need Raghavan sir to give the blessings. Mula Siddhanta is playing a very important role over here. To understand Mula Siddhanta, Tika Granthas help us a lot. We know from Upanishad that Akashad Vayuhu, Vayoragnihi, Agneirapaha, Adbhya Prithivi, Prithivya Oshadhayaha, Oshadibhyo Annam, Annat Purushaha, Savayesha Purusha Vidhaha. So like this, the Utpatti from Akasha till Purusha, it is crossing so many. Dushti, word meaning would be in a negation. It might be in a negative way. Dushti means spoiling, destroying, like that. We can apply Tantra Yukti there to that word. That is where our Tantra Yukti help. Uddesha Tantra Yukti, if we apply in case of Srishtyadi Utpatti Krama, Dushta Shabda can be considered as Parinamanam. Dushta Shabda can be considered as Parinamanam. Akasha from Mula Swarupa converting into Vayurupa, and that is how it is going on, and Purusha Utpatti. Samasena, similarly, if we consider Doshas Utpatti also from the Janma, even maybe before the Janma, and from there the discourse of dosha development and its normalcy, abnormalcy continues. So while treating, we can consider that the dushti shabda can be in a positive way, that it is parinamanam, mula swarupam, anya swarupam parinamanam. Yatha rasaha pitta अथवा अग्नि संस्कारेण रक्त रूपतया परिणमं भवति. That way, dushta shabda can be one meaning in case of Srishti Utpatti. Why Srishti Utpatti concept I included in explanation of Samprapti is, the word here used is Samprapti. It is Trilinga Vachaka Shabda. If we consider it in a Kriyapada, it is definitely a Kriyapada. If we are taking it in another sense and doing it in a Strilinga Vachi Shabda, but before going for a Strilinga Vacha, it could be Samyak Praptaha Sampraptaha. E Shabdena ila bhumau agataha. E Shabdena ila bhumau agataha. Bhumau agataha iti means what? Bhumi, it means Vayu, Agni, Apa, Teja, Prithvi. Prithivya oshadayah oshadibhyo annam. So this bhumi, when it is getting vitiated or getting parinamana, that leads to vikriti or parinamana in prakrita avastha of what is called as oshadayah. Could be aharaja, viharaja related oshadaya. Sasyaha. That when the person consumes will grow. If parinamana of bhumi was prakrita, in giving prakrita gunakarma to oshadhi, then the individual would grow as proper or as required. If there is vikriti in bhumi parinamana or bhumi gunakarma parinamana, then the oshadhi gunakarma vitiates, and the person consuming that will also have a vitiation, and that leads to vikriti. That is what is said in Nidana. Ahara jatam, kechit vihara jatam, kechit achara jatam. So ahara, vihara, acharadi, vikriti, rupam ityeva dushtaha can be one basic meaning for a non-medico related understanding, or the one who knows Sanskrit. But we have a very strong support from Tika Granthakaras. He says, Yena prakarene dushtaha iti kupitaha. Dushta shabda, he is relating as kupitaha. Generally, what we are taught, or what we, when we learn without under the shelter of very good guru, we think that kupita means prakopa, aggravation only. But this concept of kupita shabda or prakopa shabda was contradictorily explained by Chakrapani in Sharirasthana 6th chapter. I can get you the reference. Sharirasthana 6th chapter in Charaka Samhita, quotation number 17, where Chakrapani says, Kupitascha iti padena vatadayaha samanyena kshina vruddhava grihyante. It can be kshina also, it can be vruddhi also. Vikriti matram hi vatadinam kopaha. When we take kopa shabda, it can be generally considered as vikriti only. What sort of vikriti? from a equilibrium, if it is going above the equilibrium level, that is also a Vikriti. If it is going below, that is also a Vikriti. That is what Chikitsa Siddhanta also says, that doshaha, vruddha dosha, nirharana, kshina dosha, ujjwalikarana, samana dosha paripalana, that itself is Chikitsa Siddhanta also. So dushta shabda can be considered as kopa. It can be vruddhi or kshaya. To get vruddhi of dosha or kshaya of dosha, whatever nidana is required, that is all a supportive activity. That is what we can consider as a prakriya called parinamanam. For this, what we can get the meaning is, as sir was saying and giving a very good example, nivrittihi amaya asau. So there is something, anu visarpata, anu was, there is it, the vikrita dosha doesn't go alone. It has some parallel support. That is nothing other than the dhatus. Dosha where it has to exhibit. Dharanat dhatavaha. Dhatu is present everywhere. Shukra is present everywhere. Asti dhatu is circulating everywhere. That means when the Vikriti occurs in doshas, maybe in Vruddha Rupa or Kshina Rupa, that Vikriti is alongly or parallelly traveling all over the body with the help of Vata, that is with the Dhatavaha, Pradhanataha Rasaha. In Vimana, fifth, again, we have a very nice explanation for this. Vimanasthana, 5th chapter, wherein Sroto Vimaniyam, while commenting on the first word, Chakrapani says, very beautifully, he says, Yavantaha Purusho Murtimanto Bhava Visheshaha. When the Murtiman Purusha is there, Bhava Vishesha are there, Murtiman, Bhava Vishesha are there. There, when Vikriti at the end, he says, Srotaosi Khalu Parinamam Apadyamananam Dhatunam Abhivahini Bhavanti Tyanarthantaram. Parinamam Apadyamananam. Apyayanam Apadyamanam is very, very necessary. Vikrita dosha is there. If that is not traveling into the dhatus, roga utpatti or roga nishprati or bhetti is not explained or not expected. Dosha is dushta, but it is not exhibiting. Dushta dosha is staying there alone. But it is when, unless it is not vitiating the dhatus, the vyadhi utpatti may not be appreciated. And sir, that is where it can be taken as Purva Rupa.
Shall I add a question to that?
Yeah.
It will be more, I think, beautiful when we take one more concept together with that, because Muraleedharan sir as well as Sourabh sir have given us a wonderful idea regarding Yatha Dushtena Doshena with the examples of a proper treatment procedure which was incorporated by the previous yesteryear Vaidyas with Jivanti Adhikashaya, and at the same time Sourabh sir had given a very beautiful example regarding how there can be a transformation of dosha into the doshitavastha. Keeping these things in mind, shall I add 2 more references to this so that we can have a very cream discussion on a very short duration, by keeping in mind about the reference which is quoted in the Sutrasthana, doshaha pravruddhaha swam lingam darshayanti yatha balam kshinaha jahati lingam swam samaha swam karma kurvati. And this, when physiologically considered, can be taken as one perspective. And when we go to the Nidanasthana, especially Prameha Nidana, where we get the reference of Iha Kalu Nidana Dosha Dosha Visheshebhyo Vikara Vighata Bhava Bhava Prati Visheshaha Bhavanti. In that, we get a few words like Kala Prakarshad Abaliyamso Athava Anubadnanti or Bhavanti Ayatokta Sarvalingava. And in the same reference, there are 2 repetition of that particular word nirvritti. In that, if to be quoted it in detail, vikara abhinirvrittihi chiradva api abhinirvartante tanavova bhavanti ayatokta sarvalingava. Can what Sourabh sir had mentioned just now can be explained in the perspective of these 2 references, how they can be helpful in the manifestation of a samprapti of a disorder? Sourabh sir, in a few sentences, so that I can move on to Muraleedharan sir regarding this question. Thank you.
As the explanation from Samprapti was linking towards Prameha, and Prameha Vyadhi Samprapti, what we generally do is we directly go for Nidana and Chikitsa Sthana to understand the Vyadhis. But there are very good explanations regarding Utpatti of Vyadhi in Sutrasthana itself. The one who is versed with Sutrasthana, Nidana Chikitsa becomes very easy for him. So for that, to understand Prameha, there has been a very beautiful explanation given by Charaka himself in Sutrasthanam. That is, the chapter name is Kyanta Shrasiya. There, the quotation number is 78 and 79. In Kyanta Shrasiya, sorry, not Kyanta Shrasiya 78 and 79 sutra. There he says, Guru Snigdha Amla Lavanani Atimatram Samashnatam Navamannam cha Panam cha Nidram Asya Sukhani cha Tyakta Vyayama Chintanam Samshodhanam Akurvatam Shleshma Pittam cha Medascha Mamsam cha Atipravardhate Taihi Avrutaha Gatihi Vayoho Rojaha Adaya Gachati. There is an explanation regarding Avarana concept he adds there. What we generally understand, Apanavrata Prana causes this Vyadhi. Samanavrata Vyana causes this Vyadhi. But is Avarana necessarily to be understood only in case of Vata Vyadhi? No. This needs to be applying a Tantra Yukti there. Wherever in Grantha, wherever in Samhita, Cha, Tu, Api, Kechit, Kanichit Shabda comes, there we need to apply something other than that, whatever is explained. For example, Indriyasthana, first chapter, he gives reference for applying Tantra Yukti everywhere. The first chapter of Indriyasthana, while narrating the Purusha Ashrita Bhava and Purusha Anashrita Bhava, he narrates it very beautifully. Paraspara Guna Viruddhani Kanichit, Paraspara Guna Samanani Kanichit. It is Vakyashesha Tantra Yukti. When he says Paraspara Guna Viruddhani, causing Vikriti, that also means that Paraspara Samana Gunani are also causing something. Same way, in Indriyasthana he explains, Tatra tu khalu yesham parikshanam kanichit purusha samshritani, kanichit purusha asamshritani. Ashrita lakshanas are also there. That means anashrita lakshanas are also need to be considered. Same way, Avarana concept, whatever is narrated in Vatavyadhi Prakarana, it might be Adhikarana Visheshat athva Prakarana Visheshat. But by applying Tantra Yukti to it, we need to understand. He gives very beautiful. Taihi avrata gatihi vayo rojaha adaya gacchati. Vayuhu ojaha adaya gacchati. See, Vikriti is at Kapha dosha, but exhibited by Vata dosha, and the Vyakta Lakshana or whatever the Dhatu which is getting vitiated and creating trouble is Oja. What Prameha or Madhumeha we see or we study in Granthas is absolutely not the diabetes what is confined to the present day of Madhumeha, what the simile or similarity we give between diabetes mellitus and Madhumeha. Absolutely no. Madhumeha is Vataja Vyadhi, where the Chikitsa as a basic concept we go Madhur Rasa. But in diabetes, if you consider as Madhumeha and give Madhur Rasa there, the diabetes level aggravates and the diabetologist will start shouting. So this way, understanding these Lakshanas by Avarana and understanding the Vyadhi in a different way helps to make the Samprapti very well. One example I would like to quote to understand how Avarana in other Vyadhis other than Vata Vyadhi. Say for example, we get Shirashula. Shirashula or Shirapradesha, we have a dosha called Pranavata. Pranavata, Dushti occurring due to Malabadhata. Whenever there is Malabadhata or Koshtakrurata, the person will exhibit with Shirashula. That Shirashula is exhibited over Pranavata, but the vitiating factor is nothing other than the Apanavata. So it is to be understood as Apanavrata Prana. The vitiated factor at the beginning is Apana, that is giving its effect or Prabhava or Pranavata and creating Shirashula. So is it fine to give treatment to Pranavata and relieve the headache? Absolutely no. We need to create treatment and make the Prakrita Avastha of Apana, then only the Pranamata is getting relieved or the Lakshana is getting relieved. If we continue to do Nasya, there won't be anything. We need to give Anulomana Dravyas and create the Apana Vaigunya in a proper way, and that is how Avarana is broken. So Avarana never means Apana going from Apana Pradesha to Prana Avastha and there it is creating Avarana. Achadanam Naiva Avaranam. It is Granthika Artha. Avarana means Achadanam. But in Grantha of Ayurvedic science, Avarana means it is Prabhava. One general example what we can take here is, in a season of mango, we keep all mangoes with when we bring it. If one mango is very bad or it is vitiated by its gunakarma, it may be at the corner, but the whole mangoes in that particular box get vitiated. Is that mango traveling from that place and to every mango and creating Vikriti? No, it is the Prabhava which is creating. Same way, the doshas present at some other place can affect or can show their Prabhava to other place and create the Vikriti. So this is what we need to understand through the word Yatha Dushtena Doshena Samprapthiti.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'll go to Muraleedharan, sir, regarding our just finished question. How far the influence of dosha is occurring in that particular reference of Prameha Nidana? Because there also the word Nirvritti, the manifestation of disorder or Nishpati, is being considered. How can we consider the ups and downs in the doshas that occur during the phase of vitiation influence the Nidana reference of Prameha, sir? Muraleedharan, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can. Please continue, sir.
And I have to say, till now, what's the name of that doctor who is speaking till now?
I am Dr. Sourabh, sir.
Dr.
Your explanation is very beautiful, extremely beautiful, especially about Avarana and all this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Very beautiful, I have to say that. Okay, what's the question now?
Sir, when the doshas are being considered, we get a reference in Sutrasthana regarding doshaha pravruddhaha somlingam darshayanti yatha balam kshinaha jahati lingam samaha swamkarma kurvati. But keeping this thing in mind, when we go to the Samprapti of Nija Vyadis, because Aguntuja, there is another question. In the Nija Vyadis, how far this reference can be seen in the Samprapti of a patient who probably comes under the purview of Prameha or any Nija Vyadi, sir. We can quote the example of Grahani because Grahani is also such a huge disorder.
Any disease, Buddhi, Shaya are different from Kupita dosha, which is causative. Kopa is a process. A dosha has to undergo that process to create a disease. Kopastu Marga Gamita, not Marga Gamanam. Gamita means fermenting, swelling. Linganam darshanam swesham. When the Kshaya happens, Linga Abhava is there. Linganam darshanam swesham aswastyam roga sambhava. After Kopa only Roga starts. Till then, in Chaya, Vriddhi and Kshaya, you have symptoms. People have symptoms. That's a situation. That's a situation. In many, for example, you take this Taratama Nidanam. One example is the Sannipada Jara, Taratama Nidana. In Jara also, Vadapitte Kaphe Mande. That means Kapha is not lower than its usual quantity, but in work, it has become Manda. Vata Pitta is more. So the Kapha symptoms have gone down. That's the situation. Then inflammation comes and Pitta comes front. Pitta Vadam Prakshina Kapha. Kapha is not there. So the medicine has to be in milk. Previously, when kapha was manda, medicine has to be in ghee. Ghee enhances kapha. It will not increase kapha because according to that, you have added medicines in the ghee. But it enhances. So when vata pitta, manda kapha, the medicine has to be in ghee. It gives a strength to kapha. It will not increase kapha. Now, pitta vadam prakshina kapha means kapha has gone down. The treatment is you create kapha. Milk is kapakara. In vata raktam, you have to use milk. So it is, you are increasing it. You are making kapha with milk. This increase and chaya are avasthas. Kupita dosha is fermented dosha which aggressively move, affect things. This is of course a background because if you ask if it is not a nidana, definitely it's a nidana. The best thing is we consider the Taratama yogas of Jara. Now this is a corona time, so I will tell you an example of corona. Swasagasa is the two varieties, two prabhavam. In Chaturthaka Jara it is two prabhavam. Like that in corona you have two prabhavam. One is Swasagasa, then immediately there is Ashukaritvam, the person may die. Another is diarrhea, strong diarrhea, and due to Ashukaritvam, it can be dangerous. There are two things. If you look at Charaka, the Taratama Sannipadas, several people think because there is Swasagasa, people think it is Kapha. They say Kaphadika Sannipada. It's just the opposite. Swasagasa will not come in Kaphadika Taratama Yoga. Swasagasa comes in Vata Pitta and Pitta Vata Taratama Yogas where Kapha is Hina. Swasagasa Pradishyaya. Pradishyaya is, the context is Sannipada Jara. Pradishyaya is the Vadika rhinitis. Vadika rhinitis. If it is Kapha Pitta, it is penis. Swasagasa Pradishyaya. Mukhashosha, a very important symptom, what we see in this disease. Ati Parshvaruk, pneumonia pain. Ati Parshvaruk. Hine kaphe pitta madhye lingam vatadhike adhikam. Vata more, pitta middle, there is no kapha. Kapha from its level it is down. Shaya. Swasagasa. Because in Jara, pitta is out. Swasakasa hidma, vata is out. When we treat, we take kapahara things, but any kapahara thing which you take in Swasakasa hidma should be a virodhi for vata. And the ultimate treatment for Swasakasa hidma are Brahmana. So you can see in the Taratama Yoga, Hine kape pitta madhye vata adhike. Swasakasa pradishyaya. Generally, people do not imagine that. Kapha is not the Pakshinam, not that. And Swasakasa Pradishyaya, Mukhashosho, Ati Parshvaru. Parshva is the side of thorax. Another, this again Kapahinam, Vata Madhyam, Pittadhyam. It starts with Bheda, Aruji, Agni Madhya, like the same. So, down, dosha down does not show its symptom. Aggravated Kupita doshas show the symptom. And we have to nourish the lowered dosha. So increase of doshas described, chaya of doshas described. That is why I said first, everything there is a anusarpata. There is a background. Whatever, when we take a medicine, what is its focus is secondary. to which it should be avirodhi is the first. That is the first. Then only it works in treatment. So avasthas are there. These we cannot consider as just Vada Chaya happened and he becomes a patient. No, he becomes a patient, definitely, because Vada has to do its work. He became patient with other things, causes. It is there. And this is a background. In Vada Rakta is included in everything is included in Jara. The last Jara is explained as Prakshina Kapam Pittavada. Degenerative inflammation. Degenerative is Sidaruksha, inflammation, Snigdosha. Contradictory. Sidaruksha. There is Vada Rakta. Rheumatoid arthritis, and it in the strongest situation of Vata Rakta, it is cancer. So you can see all the Nidhanasthana of all the Samhidas and with the word carcinogenic, Karbudha Kairija. So that's a process. That's also a Samprapti. This is what I wanted to say. This is Samprapti. In that way, all the Samhidas are written. First Jara. The Srotas has to undergo Jara. Jurita Srotas only cannot have a disease. Anjurita Srotas cannot have a disease. So Jurita Srotas, Sidarusha, Ushnaruksha. Ushnaruksham, there is no dosha, which is Ushnaruksha. So actually, the three dosha and Jara is the situation. Jara is always there. When the dosha fails, the Srotas becomes Ushnaruksha. And another interesting thing is, Pitta is the root in the Jara. Pitta is Snigdha and Ushna. It causes Ushna Rusha, and the effect of Jara also is Ushna Rusha. Ruksham hi tejo Jara. This Ushna, Snigdha, Pitta, its effect happens as a Ushna Ruksha situation. And so that. And if it continues as Upadrava Roga, the Rakta Pitta happens. Rakta Pitta happens because Rakta is the most Snigdha and Ushna thing in the body. It cannot stand Ushna Ruksha. So ultimately, Rakta Pitta happens. It vitiates and Pitta has to go out. So this is how it happens. So the first is what I said about Gunakarma Vikalpa. We understand what are the gunas and the karmas and how they work, where they work, in what situation. Sometimes what it produces is not the same of that disease. Heat may be producing cold. In the same, if you continuously introduce heat to a living Srotas, gradually the Srotas becomes cold and rough. That is why in the course of pathology, in the end, Vada Vyadhi comes, Sidaruksha. Then Vada Rakta. Pitta again inflammation starts over Vata. So it is degenerate. Vata Rakta. Pitta Vadam Prakshina Kapam. So the Kshaya is a conditional thing. All the Kshayas are conditional. If the Vata goes down, Vata increases, of course there are symptoms. Yoga Sambhava is with Kopa. The Kopa should happen. That is the word. The other things we have to consider. In Vada Rakta and the other thing, Kapha is, if you look at, of course in Jara is Pitta, but you have Vata Kapha Jara. In the same way, in Vada Rakta also you have Kapha Diga Vada Rakta. That's a different matter. In the core of the disease, Kapha is not there. Pitta Vata is there. So medicine has to be in milk. So this is how we adjust with the Kshaya and increase also, both. Kopa is different. It is side by side. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. But at the same time, it was a very wonderful dissection of that Amshamsa Kalpana of even that involvement of doshas in various disorders.
Gopi sir, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Can you please hold your mic to
Sure.
near to your mouse?
Sure. Thank you, Murali sir. Because with this explanation, two unasked questions or about to ask questions have been answered naturally, because very next question which I had planned was for that reference of Charaka Sutrasthana 20th chapter, where he mentions Prakriti, Adhishtana Linga, Ayatana Vikalpa Vishesha, Aparisankhyayatat. Why diseases are a lot in spite of all these minimum number of things which are ready to get dushita. Why disorders are a lot in number? Got the answer with this explanation of Jwara to Vata Vyadhi. And at the same time, when we think of Samprapti, Roga Marga is one of the important factors together with Samprapti Ghatakas. Sir, can you please explain about Samprapti Ghataka and Roga Marga in relation to a Nija Vyadhi? Because in Agantuja Vyadhi, because when we start discussing about Agantuja Vyadhi, in Chakrapani, in 19th chapter, Chakrapani Datta mentions the in Agantuja Vikara, Nijadosha, Asti Eva is the reference what Chakrapani mentions. So how come in this Roga Marga, in Agantuja Vikaras, they play an important role in the manifestation of a disorder? Murali sir? First I'll go to Sourabh sir. I'll go to Sourabh sir.
Can you,
Sir, definitely.
Can you explain that question? In between there was a disturbance.
Sir, I was asking the influence of Roga Marga in Agantuja Vikaras specifically, because when we discuss about Agantuja Vikara, there is we naturally think of the involvement of injury first, or Agantuja factor, its influence first, then the doshas are getting vitiated. But in Chakrapani Datta, he mentions Agantu avastayamapi nijadosho asti eva. And can we get a classical example in the perspective of a disorder about this same question, sir?
I understand. We have three Roga Margas. One the Dhatus, another the elementary canal. The third is the central nervous system and the other nervous system. These are the three Roga Margas. Agantu Vyadhi, this microbe. Microbe, generally we don't take microbe. We need not take microbe because we are not killing anything. We treat the body so that the microbe entered in the body becomes a host, a guest in the body. Body becomes a host. Mostly the Agantuja is mental, and then certain things like trauma. Where in trauma also, mental part is there. Mostly Agantuja is mental. And in mental disease and anything, not only mental disease, anything, Agantu Vyadhi can continue only as Nija. It cannot continue as Agantu for always, because it has to take an abode in the Dhatus. So it is that. And we look at the diseases. You have psychosomatic diseases. With a mental concept, a person gets stomach problem, diarrhea, everything. And it continues for a long time. It is there. Skin disease is there. In Shitra, for example, if the patient of Shitra is disturbed, immediately the Shitra spreads. It is there. In the third, I need not say is very close. Nerve and mind is very close. So Agantuja is there. Even if you consider the Visha infections, certain infections, that infections, Visharupa infections are actually Ama. Becomes Nija, it becomes Ama. Amadosham Mahaghoiram Varjayet Vishasamnakam. Very strong toxin happens in the body. This is how it happens. Generally, if we look at it, the Jwara is the cause which controls the disease, which increases the disease. Actually, a person dies and takes birth with Jwara. We said in the book. with any disease you take, a person dies with Jara. Jara is there. And when the treatment fails, when the resistance fails, the Jara takes over the first Roga Marga. Then it goes to second Roga Marga. Then goes to third Roga Marga. That is, there's an inflammation in the central nervous system. Even the modern medical doctors know this. I had a discussion with a doctor from USA. He said, what you said is absolutely right. A man dies naturally, ultimately with the inflammation of central nervous system. So we have these three Roga Margas. Jara goes through all these things. And there is specific treatment for this also. If you look at Jara Chikitsa, generally in all chapters you can see medicine, typical medicine. Everything is example. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, then three Samsarga, then Sannipada. When it comes to Sannipada, you have only two yogas, hot and cold. This is the usual way. In Jara is the basic of all the diseases. In Jara, you can see very clearly, when it comes to Sannipada, you have two, one hot, one cold combinations. After that, there is mentioning of one medicine for Srota Shuddhi, another medicine for Shamana. Mostly many people do not notice it. And I think in some Ashtangas, when they print it, they have avoided it. This is very important 2 lines. In my experience, some 4 or 5 people rejected by doctors that they are going to going to a coma and they may die. They have come out with these yogas. That's very interesting to think. One is for Srota Shuddhi. This is a situation of Sannipada Jara, very severe. All 3 doshas are there, and Jara is basic. Jara has taken over the body. So almost asadhya. There, Srota Shuddhi is very difficult because there's very strong constipation, roughness, very strong inflammation also. If you use, because of the roughness, if you use Nigdhata, the inflammation will very strongly happen. If you use roughness, it can cause a trauma to the internal organs and there can even be bleeding. That's the situation. So there's a beautiful yoga. After this yoga for Sannipada, Baddhavit Kaduga Draksha Trayandi Triphala Gulan. Very safely, in a very difficult, contradictory situation, just in 24 or 48 hours, it regulates, or even constipation removes. Even if constipation is not gone, immediately the Srota Shuddhi happens with this medicine. Next line is Jatyamalaka Mustani Taddo Dhanyaya Vashakam. If you look at this yoga, you see 3 Jadi Amalaka Musta. Then separately Taddo Dhanyaya Vashakam. How he made this Jatya Amalaka Musta? When I said the Jara goes to 3 Roga Margas, at the same time, it goes deep into the dhatus. So you look at the medicines which is prescribed for dosha when it goes deep into the dhatus. They are the medicines for Vishama Jara. Because Vishama Jara is in Rasa, Rakta, like that. In the end, in Chaturthaka Jara, it comes to the Gambhira Dhatu, like Majja. So there, the medicine is Amrita, Musta, and Dhatri. Amrita for degenerative inflammation, Musta for Ama. This is what I say, Ama is toxin. 1/3 of the medicine, almost 20 grams, is Musta. Dhatri, Musta, Dhatri for Rasayana, to uphold the body. In severe conditions, the same way you contradict the causative doshas, you have to protect the body also. Because if the body fails, you fail. The treatment fails. So these are the three things. Amalagi to protect the body. Musta, for you may think is the musta such a strong thing? Yes, very strong thing in that situation. Then amrita. Tadvad dhanvayavashakam. That means when it goes to the alimentary canal, second Roga Marga, it starts making symptoms in the third Roga Marga, that is brain and nervous system. And then it goes to brain and the man dies. It is explained in Charaka very beautiful. So when it goes to brain, before it goes to brain, you add Dhanvayashakam. Dhanvayashakam is the medicine for Vadika Ama. That we know. The first yoga in the Jara Chikitsa is, it is said, Viralabha.
Sir, can I intervene in between? Can we go to the concept of what Sourabh sir has to say and then move on to the medicine, sir? If you don't mind.
Yeah. Can I finish this?
So sure, sir. Sure. Sorry.
That is why that Tadvad Dhanvayavashakam, it has put separately. So we can use it all together. So all the three Roga Margas, it comes gradually, Jara comes gradually, this is the person dies. When it goes to central nervous system, he goes to coma and dies. This medicine, in my experience, this medicine takes back the patient. Again, he becomes conscious. Like that. We may think it's very small, ordinary medicines. No. In that situation, in a particular situation, even a very small thing is very important. So, okay, now we can go to the question. You were asking.
Over to Sourabh, sir. Sir, what's your say with a few words regarding the influence of these factors in Agantuja Vyadhi?
Yeah. Agantuja Vyadhi, as you mentioned about the verse that the doshas involved at the Aganturhi Vyatha Purvam. So Vyatha is at the beginning. Does it mean that Agantu Vyadhi need to be only from the external factor? No. And Nija from the internal factor only? No. A very good example would be from Gulma Nidanam, from Charaka Samhita, third chapter of Nidanstan, where we can get both he has combined for Doshik Gulma. For example, Yatha Yada Purusho Vatalo Visheshena Jwara Vamana Virechana Atisaranam Anyatamena Karshanena Karshitova Vadalam Aharam Aharati Shitam Va, etc. He goes, and at the end he says that Ati Sankshobhina Va Yanena Yati. Is it the internal factor? Definitely an external. Ati Vyavaya Vyayama Adya Shoka Aruchirva Abhigatam Ruchatirva. Even Abhigata he has included in Vataja Gulma. A Nija Gulma, Nija Vyadhi, which is also being influenced by Agantu factors. Another example what we can take in Indriya Sthana while commenting the Arishta Lakshana, Tikakara has used a very famous verse from Granthakara. What he says is, Yasya Kukshigate Shofe Panipadav Visarpati. We think Padashota and start treating as Mutrala Dravya, considering the pathology would be obstructive. But the actual pathology might be there in the Kukshi. It can be there in the Amashe, it can be there in the Pakvashe, or it can be there in the Dhatu Utpatti Ashe, like Hridaya, Yakrat, Pliha, Ityadaya. So there, in such conditions, we need to think how Vyadhi Utpatti is taking place. May it be Agantu or Nija. Ultimately, Agantu also turns as a Nija Vyadhi only, but the treatment is given initially for the Lakshanas. There may not be Sevana. And another reference, yesterday I was hearing from Savitri Madam, there she could quote, even Abhijit had quoted, Purva Janma Krita Papa Karma related Vyadhi Utpatti is there. if a person has to do this, there is a Purva Janma Krita Nishchaya. If a person has to meet an excellent guru and learn, there is a Purva Janma Krita Punya or Papa. So to meet with an accident, there might be, definitely, not might be, there is a definitely a relation from Purva Janma Krita Papa Karma. So are we considering all these? If we consider, then even Agantu becomes Nija Vyadhi only. This is what I feel. Even Agantu should be treated as Nija only. There may be a question when I say, then why did Granthakara made a bifurcation Nija Vyadhi and Agantu Vyadhi? Definitely it is there, but it is to ease the treatment. To ease the treatment, Nijotha Vikaras Chikitsa is the way of treating is different, and Agantu Vikara treatment is a little different. Another reference what we can take from Sushruta, Muraleedharan sir, I am very much thankful for quoting Taratama Guna there. Granthakara, Sushruta, while narrating in 20th chapter of Sutrasthana, he says, Taratama Yoga Yuktauscha Bhavan Ati Snigdhan Ati Rukshan Ati Ushnan Iti Evam Adin Vivarjayet. We need to avoid Ati Ruksha, Ati Snigdha and Ati Guru, Ati Ushna, not Ushna, Snigdha, Ruksha. Snigdha, Ushna, Ruksha are needed. When they become Tara or Tama, then that creates the Vyadhi Utpatti. Prakrita Ruksha, Samamatra Ruksha Guna is needed. Roti we eat every day. That does Dhatu Poshana, Dosha Poshana also. If Khadak Roti if we are eating, that creates the Vikriti because it is Ati Ruksha. Ushna we are eating fresh prepared rice, that is Ushna. Sukhoshna Ahara we are eating. If it is too hot, then it causes Vikriti at the Doshik level. So these are also can be considered as causative factor which are Nija but appears to be Agantuja Karana also. This is what I opine on this particular verse.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. There are a few very interesting discussions which are going on in the chat box. I shall go to those with a few words because two questions I would like to raise in this occasion, taken from the chat boxes. Is Samprapti Jnana essential for Chikitsa? Or whether only those 4 factors, why are not those factors enough? And in what way Samprapti Jnana is most essential in the discussion? I think many parts have been answered. So I would like to get the opinion with a very few words from Murali sir as well as Sourabh sir. One more question is there. It's pending. I will ask it as soon as we get this question answered.
Yeah.
First, over to Murali sir. Sir, can you please unmute, sir? Muraleedharan, sir, can you please unmute, sir? Can you please unmute? Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. Samprapti is the whole understanding of pathology, complete. We cannot avoid it because yatha-dushtena doshena, it starts from there. Everything is Samprapti. So which part of Samprapti we can avoid? We cannot avoid Samprapti. Which part you can avoid? Everything is there. And you have
right
to...
from the onset of Nidana, Samprapti begins, is what?
Yeah, Samprapti, I think the question is about the course of the disease. Without knowing the course of the disease, treating means it is just a medicine for a disease. It's not possible because, you know, you have to condition the body for treatment. You have to condition. Previously, I said, in a very difficult situation, the most important thing is to condition the body and then only give the right medicine. That's very important. So, Samprapti, all the background knowledge of dosha, everything is very important. Otherwise, in severe conditions, the treatment may become harmful. It's a small mistake can make a lot of difficulty. In such difficult conditions, mostly we adjust the medicines say prasadana, do prasadana to the medicine and give. Like that we have to give. Otherwise it can be, in treatment we face such things. Once we had a patient of bronchial fistula. So we treated with Gulgulu Panchabalam. It became very bad. But that was the real medicine. Then we found his body, his situation, the course of the disease, all these things are too rough and hot. So when we gave the same powder in milk, mixed in milk, and a dhara with ayurveda outside, it completely solved. The problem was completely solved. He had undergone 2 surgeries. Then we treated him. So this giving a medicine as such, adjusting it for the situation, mixing it in the milk, Prakshina Gabham, Pittavatam, so do it in milk, is quite different. So Samprapti, we must know all the same, not only Gunakarma Vikalpa, we have to know in which place it is there, what happens in Dhatu, Dhatu Gazatvam, what is Dhatu Gazatvam, all these things we have to know.
Thank you, sir. Sourabh, sir.
Yeah, I go with Muraleedharan, sir, that Samprapti is must. If that was not there, then why did the Granthakara would explain Samprapti? And he has included in Nidana itself, in the basic of clinical aspect itself, that Samprapti is most needed. May it be Nija or Agantu, to know whether the Vyadhi is Sadhya or Asadhya, to know whether it is Chikitsa Sadhya or Anyatra Sadhya. For all this, Samprapti is most needed. Without Samprapti, how can you see the course of the disease and how will you treat? Because Chikitsa definition itself is Samprapti Vighatana Meva Chikitsa. To do Vighatana of that, what will you do Vighatana if you don't have the knowledge of Samprapti? Very much needed for the disease management and understanding for the Samprapti.
Yes, sir. Mere a lot of snapshots will not be sufficient to watch or equivalent to watching a whole movie, is what we can answer in a single sentence. And one more question is, Shina are not sufficient to cause a disease. That was discussed for a long duration. A lot of opinions had come. I would like to mention only 2 opinions, that Shinaha Brahmaitavyaha word itself signifies the role of Shina doshas in the manifestation of disorders. And also one more thing which was in parallel to that discussion was, Shina dosha is also a Vikriti, because they have to be considered as in a form of proportions. When one dosha gets prakupita or dushta, the other naturally gets Shina avastha, is what I came to know. I could understand by that question. Can you please elaborate regarding these 2 points? Shinaha Brahma Itabhyaha itself signifies that it is somewhat in aberration condition and that can cause a disease.
I hope this question was pointed out towards me, because I started that Prokopa word is definitely includes Kshaya Avastha also, not only the Vriddhi. Of course, Kshina need to be understood. I would like to throw a point there. In Sutra of Charaka, he mentions Vatakalakaliyam Adhyayam. Is it sufficient for us with that the Vatakalakaliyam, we can understand Pittakalakaliyam and Kafakalakaliyam? He's just giving one example, that Vatakalakaliyam has these all factors. At the end, he might be adding about the Pitta and Kapha. But in detail, we don't get the textual or the written script from the Granthakara. It never means we need not to apply or we need not think in that. We have to apply Tantra Yukti, Vakyashesha Tantra Yukti, Uddesha Tantra Yukti, and Nidarshana Tantra Yukti also, and prepare for our reference Pitta Kala Kaliyam, Pittasya Kala va Akala, Kafasya Kala va Akala. That way, when the Granthakara is mentioning about the Vyadhi with Vruddha Dosha Avastha or Vruddha type of Vikriti, it is our bound duty need to understand Kshaya Avastha also. I think I am incapable to answer because, or I need not answer. Sir has given so many conditions where Kshina Kapha, Kshina Vata, Kshina Pitta. Sutra 18th chapter Trishothiya has so many wide references starting from quotation number 19 to go on. wherein he says that Vata is Vruddha, Madhyama Pitta, Kshina Kapha, Vruddha Pitta, Kshina Pitta, Vata Madhyama, like that. That means Kshina Avastha is most needed for the treatment. With that only, Granthakara has mentioned Dosha Kshina Bruhitavya, Kupitaha Prashamanatavya, Vruddha Nirharatavya, Samam Paripalya iti Siddhantam. He has mentioned as Siddhantam. What is Siddhanta then? If that was not the situation, Yat Siddham Tadevantam. To say it as a Siddhanta, that means it has been tried, tested, experimented at multiple areas. Siddhanto nama sa yaha parikshakaihi bahuvidham pariksha hetubhishcha sadhayitva sthapyate nirnayaha. So bahuvidham pariksha, by multiple ways, by multiple scientists. For that, again, the good example would be Vata Kalakaliyam. Someone says, Kumara Shiraha Uvacha, like this he has seen, Vata Guna, he has seen few. The another Granthakara or another scientist sees some other gunas. And the collective information again is given by Agnivesha or Atre Punarvasu. But that means at multi-level, at multi-centers, every concept has been discussed and tried, experimented. Without that, how can they arrive and say that Vata has only Tatra Ruksha Logashita Kara Sukshma Chalo Anilaha? Parusha is not included. Parusha is in between Ruksha and Khara. That is what Arunadatta, while commenting on Gunas, he mentions about it. Parushani, Sushirani. Is Parusha left out? No. What is majoritarily seen, that has been narrated. That never mean that is the only thing. It is our yukti. That is why at the end he says a Tantra Yukti's list has been mentioned and its utility has been mentioned. And one more reference I would like to add. These all question comes to us when we neglect Vimanasthana 8th chapter. Shastra Pariksha, Shishya Pariksha, we don't read it properly. There he says, Trividha Shishya Buddhi Hitaha. Uttama Shishya, Madhyama Shishya and Hina Shishya. Hina Shishya will understand only this much is there. Madhyama Shishya tries to understand why only this much. Uttama Shishya will have a discussion under the great guidance of senior scholars. So there we need to discriminate when it is there, why it is not there. That way, Kshina Avastha is also most needed to understand the Vyadhi.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now, shall we move on to the doubt clearing session? Shall we move on to the doubt clearing
I
session?
would like to know from Murali sir also on this. Muraleedharan sir also.
Sure, sir. Because I just didn't ask Muraleedharan sir, because sir had beautifully explained regarding the permutation and combination of doshas so clearly that I again went back to my third professional BMS. Murali sir, please. Murali sir, please.
Disease and weakness are two different things. If a person's voice is low, is not very bright, it's not a disease. In Prakriti also, different people have different weaknesses. A person is very short, that's not a disease. Disease is very specific. It has to, the dosha has to undergo kopavastha. It becomes asatmyam. Disease is asatmyam. Vata, Pitta, Kapha are the body. There is nothing in the body which is not Vata, Pitta or Kapha. Dhatu and any structure is a gross manifestation of the energies called Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So in the Prakriti, if you have a weakness, somebody has a weakness, we cannot consider it a disease. In the same way, in the Kopavastha causes a disease, and due to disease, a situation can happen in the srotas where gradually a dosha has gone down. That means the adharam of that dosha is weak. When Asti Dhatu is weak, I am not just saying about the bond, Asti Dhatu is weak. Vata can become weak, where we have to nourish it. that alone is a disease. It's not a disease. That alone cannot be a disease. That's a situation. In disease condition also, this prakshina avastha can happen. This is what I showed from the jara itself. Vata pittam prakshina kapam. Medicine has to be in milk because milk is kapakara. Without doing that, without doing kapakara treatment there, the other medicine will not work. Other things will not work. Even in the very severe situation where the jara enters the alimentary canal, the second roga marga, Jatya Malaga Mustani is the medicine. Jati is the medicine which you give in typhoid to strongly heal inflammation in the intestine. Along with that, you have to give Amalaka. Amalaka has to protect and nourish the structure. Otherwise, it is weak. That weakness, definitely there is a pathological effect for the weakness, but you are not attacking that thing, supporting it. In Jara, Sannivada Jara, about generally also it is said that in very severe conditions, the main treatment goes for protecting the body, protecting the dhatu. If the dhatu is burnt, the person dies. If the dosha is burnt, the disease dies. So, in severe conditions, a part of medicine, a good part of medicine, is for protecting the body. The second part of the medicine is for the toxin called ama, called toxin. And the third part is for the situation created by the disease, by the action of the disease. This is what, for example, I told you, Jatya Malaga Bustani. It's a very, very complicated, very serious situation where the jara enters. That's why before death, people do not want to eat. We put a tube and fill the stomach. Actually, we are disturbing. We are not permitting a peaceful death with shallow breathe, good breathe. All these things we are blocking actually. And it will increase the inflammation also. So people feel difficulty to eat because the jara has taken over the alimentary canal. There, when we give medicine, 3 medicines, one is for Rama, one is to protect the body. That means to increase whatever is gone down, Kshaya, whatever has gone to Kshaya. We are nourishing it with Rasayana, Amalagi Rasayana. Then Jati for the treatment also. So Kshaya has to be taken care, but you cannot directly say somebody has a Kshaya and it causes a disease. Kshaya cannot be happen like that. Cannot happen like that. Suddenly the Vata goes down. No. If Vata goes down, definitely there is a kopa of other diseases, other doshas. Then only this happens. So this is a situation. We are not attacking it. We are taking care of it. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
To add to Muraleedharan sir, when Kshaya is occurring, that means it is not the only dosha. Vagbhata himself clears it and says, Na eka doshajo vyadhehe. Never a vyadhi is be of one dosha. Dosha may be of 2 or 3. In which avastha they are, that itself is samprapti ghataka. Anshamsha kalpana, vidhi samprapti, that all is what level the dosha is dushta. And Vagbhata again in 11th chapter sutra he clarifies doshadinam yathaswam cha vidyat vruddhi kshayau bhishak. Vidyat he says vruddhi and kshayau bhishak. Bhishak has to know both the avasthas. It is not always when kshaya is understood vruddhi is known or vruddhi is understood kshaya is known. No. We have to know both and treat whichever is pradhan. That is what is pradhanya samprapti. And based on that, we are treating the vyadhi. This is an addition to sir's word. We can
Thank
go
you.
forward further.
Thank you, Sourabh sir.
Yeah.
Now I request the participants to raise their hands or raise the doubts as a part of our next doubt clearing session, or else they can unmute and then ask the questions directly. One question has come regarding, please tell about Vega Rodha and Sroto Dushti and Chikitsa. The question was, should I repeat the question?
No, we got who is to answer, who has to
Vega
answer.
Rodha, Sroto Dushti and Chikitsa. And shall I first go to Muraleedharan sir?
Yeah.
And then come to you, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Sir,
What is the question? Vegarodha? Vegarodha, Srotodushti and treatment.
the question, yes, sir. Vega Rodha, Vega Avarodha, Sroto Dushti and Chikitsa.
Yeah, any different Vegas, Rodha of different Vega has different effects. They affect different Srotas. Treatment is according to that. Treatment is to correct the Vega one, to see what has happened in the Srotas, what is the situation in the Srotas, and then give medicine according to this. With Gunakarma Vikalpa of all these things, which Vega, each Vega has a Gunakarma Vikalpa, particular Gunakarma Vikalpa. And each dosha, when blocked, affect a particular Srotas. And in the symptoms are there. In what way? So we have to do sometimes Pachana, then Shamana, Sodhana, that according to situation. We cannot generally make a rule without for affecting for all the Vegarodha, all the Srotas, everything.
Thank you, sir. Sourabh sir?
Without Avarodha, Vyadhi Utpatti is a bit difficult. In Atakalakalia, he says, Apyayamanam. Apyayanam is nothing but there is Avarodha. Maybe Karmataha Avarodha, or Guna Vyaktataha Avarodha, or Dravyataha Avarodha. Avarodha is definitely there. And that is happening in Srotas. Ayam Purusho Srotomayaha. That is why Vyadhi Utpatti takes place. And acting Viparita to these two, that itself is Chikitsa. Deshanam Amayanam Viparitam Gunam Gunaihi Satme Michanti Satmadnya Cheshtatam Madhyamevacha. That itself is a treatment. So Avarodha Virodha itself is treatment. So we need to know about all these three. That is Avarodha and Srotodushti are definitely playing important role in management of disease and diagnosis of disease also.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, I have something to add. I'm Prasad.
Yeah, yes.
Sir.
Yeah, it is regarding that Vritha and Kshina doshas. Definitely the Kshina or Kshaya of the dosha or dosha Kshaya is a Vikriti, no doubt about it. And that is to be corrected in order to come to the Samavastha of the doshas and to reinstate Swasthyam. But the point is, there are many things which are supporting that. There is nothing mysterious about it, especially Kshayadu Vivruddheriva Rakshaniya. So that is very categorical, no doubt about it. But the question is whether a Kshina dosha can initiate a Samprapti. Definitely, there are conditions in Vyadhi where we go for Vikalpa, where one dosha may be in the Vruddhavastha, other dosha may be in the Kshinavastha, third one may be in the Samavastha, or one in the Vruddhavastha, two others in the Kshinavastha. No doubt about it. That can be a part and parcel of a Samprapti. But whether a Kshina dosha has got the Vyadhi Utpadaka Samarthyam, that is a serious point. And yeah, that is to the best of my understanding, it has no Vyadhi Utpadaka Samarthyam. It has got capacity to create problems in the system because it Jahadikshinaha. So in the Samavastha, Ulsaha, Uchvasa, Nishwasa, Cheshta, Vega, Pravartana, all these things will be there to do the proper the system maintenance. So they will be declining. So obviously that is a problem, no doubt about it. But when we call as a Samprapti or a Vyadhi, that is a technical term. Vyadhi is a technical term. It is not just Aswasthyam. So in order to generate a Vyadhi, that Vyadhi Utpadaka Samarthyam, I think Kshina dosha has got no potential to that. And another important point is, we have to see when we are revolving around the dosha level, we should take into consideration about the nimitta karanas. This is a system. A nimitta karana will not affect one single dosha alone, because this is a system. So a nimitta karana in whatever form, as Dr. Sourabh told, whether it is ahara, vihara, or achara, whatever it is, it will have its influences on the entire system, and all the doshas will have its say on it. Sometimes a particular dosha may be udasina to a particular nimitta karana. But that doesn't mean that this nimitta karana is not at all influential on that situation. So whenever we are saying that whether a particular dosha is Vyadhi Utpadagam, we have to go one step behind and see what are the nimitta karanas and what could be the influence of the nimitta karana on each dosha. Accordingly, we have to decide which is the Vyadhi Utpadaga dosham. And that, what I mean is that Vyadhi Utpadaga dosham cannot be a Kshina dosha. Please correct if I am wrong.
Thank you, Prasad sir.
Can I say about this? Hello?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. See, this Kshaya, we are talking about Kshaya. Prakriti is there. Prakriti is dosha. In different people, doshas in different quantity or proportion is there. So if a person is Kapapitta Adhiga Prakriti, the Vata quality will be less in him. It's not a disease. Because Prakriti is Atma. We are Prakriti. We are Prakriti. It's not okay. About disease, doshas has to get vitiated, come to Kopavastha, affect the Srotas, complete the chain of Samprapti and make a dosha. In that situation, gradually, one dosha can go down. That means it goes into Mandada first. That is what is said Vata Pitte Kaphe Mande. Because of a lot of Vata Pitta work, vitiated Vata Pitta work, Kapha became Manda. That means its effect has reduced. You have to compensate it with giving medicine in ghee. Then Pitta Vata and Pakshina Kapha, you add milk. These are all you are adjusting. But alone one dosha suddenly goes down. It's not there. It is in the Prakriti. Vata, Pitta, Kapha are in the Prakriti. Just one dosha fails a person cannot be there because these three are all together. They are three reflections of energy, one energy. So it is there. You cannot just say one thing has gone down. Of course, one thing goes down because of the work of the other things. And when one thing has gone down, when you treat the others, you have to take care of this also. This is the situation because in Prakriti, of course, every combination, a dosha is less. But there is again two things. To go into Manda, to go Prakshina or Hina. These are different. Manda is usually there. Manda means it is there in the required level, but it's not working properly. So according to that, also in the treatment, there must be a difference. That's why we say you add medicine in ghee, all these things. Or even you can change the yoga. But naturally, it is not happening. Naturally happening is prakriti. Disease is done by kopa. Kupita dosha only can make Roga Sambhava is told in Kopa. Without Kopa, a dosha cannot make a disease. Sanchayam. In Sanchayam, you have symptoms. If Vata Pitta Sanchayam is there, you have more symptoms of Vata Pitta. Compared to that, Kapha is less, can be Manda. Ailments or some symptoms can be there. That is separately said in Vata Vriddhi symptom, Vata Kshaya symptom, all these things are there. We cannot call it a disease. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Still, there are a lot of doubts which are to be answered, a lot of concepts which are to be answered and brought to implementation in our own clinics. Time is progressing. So let me go to Muraleedharan sir and Sourabh sir to give the participants a very good take-home message so that they can carry over in their future practice. First, I would like to, I request Muraleedharan sir to give a take-home message to the participants.
What is it? It's not clear for me. What did you say?
Sir, a take-home message for us as well as a take-home message for us and the participants from your side.
This is a wonderful discussion. Very wonderful discussion because a lot of things have been discussed, especially about this Avarana. Avarana, generally people do not talk. It was a very beautiful description about Avarana. So such theoretical explanations should be there because in Ayurveda, practically you can do anything very significant only by clear theoretical knowledge. With complete theoretical knowledge, of course, practice also must be there. That is the drishti, gives the drishti. But the understanding comes only from theoretical knowledge. So this type of discussions where we discuss about what is really happening in the body. The particular disease, a particular situation, especially nowadays, people are trying to find out medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, through modern medical understanding. The problem is, now even with this new corona, somebody told me oxygen, bodies cannot retain oxygen. So when I said Amalaki is the best thing to enhance the body against corona, he said it will help to enhance the upkeeping of oxygen in the body. See, if this is the way we understand, how much Amalaki we have to give to the patient? You have to give 5 kilos. This is not the way. Even otherwise, you will come to the same medicine as a yoga. As a yoga, we can come to the medicine for any situation. Any situation, there is no new disease in Ayurveda. Any situation we can create, because this is just like mathematics. Just with small basics. So mathematics has minimum basics from Vedic age up to now. Through mathematics, you understand a wide spectrum things. Starting from a small machine up to black hole, you think within mathematics. The same way, we have a structure and a thought. Now, when this chikungunya was there, different Vaidyas were treating very successfully with different yogas and different prayogas. So this seeing a patient and understanding the correct situation, understanding all the situations step by step is samprapti. That's the only difference. Gunakarma vikalpa manandyam targama yogatasthayatan janiyat. That's the basic. Step by step you understand everything. For that you must know the theory in which dhatu it is there. Any disease, in my experience, any disease, when it is very chronic, very strong, and you fail, your treatment fail, if you consider the dhatu in which it works, which is the dhatu for that particular disease, and if you give parallelly medicine for the jara in the dhatu and continue your treatment, it gives tremendous effect. Very correctly you get the so theoretical knowledge is the most important thing. The Ayurveda is a theoretical science, not a just experimental science. Experimental treatment, of course, treatment, you understand a lot of things should be there, but for correction, the theory, clear understanding of theory should be there. So my wish is that now we will say the theory is going out, is vanishing, all the people are going for modern. No, no, from such discussions, I understand there are wonderful people. Wonderful people, the Shastra never dies. It is increasing, the understanding of Shastra is really increasing. So thank you very much for whatever I have also learned several things from here. So my advice to students is you continue in this in the same way. In Ashtangam, you are doing that. The same way you continue. And that this only will help you to help the people, because nowadays people are going straight for allopathic medicine. It should be just opposite. They must first come to Ayurveda, then go to allopathy. But in India, it is reverse. They go to allopathy, then when there is no way, they come here. So we must know very subtle situations, because in severe conditions, if we make a small mistake, it is very dangerous. In severe conditions, there is ashukaritva. So we must have thorough knowledge in theory. So discussions like this help all of us, even good physicians and students, everybody, they get new insights. So I am very happy to be a part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I request Sourabh sir to give a take-home message for us?
Everything is to be taken home. There is no special word. 2 words we need to keep in our life all the time. Dosha eva hi sarvesham vyadhinam ekakaranam, natu anyatram. So doshas are the only culprits which create vyadhis. Without dosha, there is no vyadhi. And treatment is always for the dosha. One thing. Second thing is jnana buddhi pradipena yona vishati tattvavit aturas yantaratmanam. That is most important verse explained by Charaka. We have to see, have 2 torches. One is jnana, the other one is buddhi. We are in summer season, the ice cream is in front of us. And jnana says, manas says, yeah, go ahead and eat it. But buddhi, it is the ultimate which is deciding whether to eat or not. The summer is ushnatara and ice cream is shitatara. So this taratama guna will create vyadhi. So there we need a buddhi. These 2 torch we must keep always with us, and we need to enter into the atma of atura. Just by seeing, yeah, you have this, you have that, palpated something and started treatment may not definitely help. We need to enter into the patient's insight and know in depth about it, and then understand. One request from my side to all is let us have an initiation in writing diagnosis, the Vyadhi Vinishchaya. Why not initiate to know that every Vyadhi has Avarana concept? Prameha, I write it as Samanavrata, Vyanavrata, Apana. I don't write Madhumeha in my case paper. Samanavrata, Vyanavrata, Apana. Like that. Why not have this way? and that helps us to treat the disease very easily. There is samana, which is vitiated, creating vyana vikriti, that is creating apana vikriti. That is why it is exhibited at the apanasthana. So this way, if we are able to write clearly, and if we are treating or initiating the treatment, samprapti vigatana becomes very easy. So I wish every prescription to see at least 1 avarana in every diagnosis. And apart from Vata Vyadhi at every level, and have a wonderful practice with very simple medicines. With this, I thank the foundation and my co-speaker, very senior person, and very silently speaking, never Uchchair Bhashana nor Kshina in Swara. So his all doshas are Samadosha Samagnischa are maintained throughout. With that, his blessings, I could speak, and I came to know about Raghavan sir from my principal and my HOD, who are PGs from Thiruvananthapuram College, Dr. Prashant S and Dr. J.R. Joshi, who said about Raghavan sir and about this foundation a lot. And I wish to have a textbook which was written by Raghavan sir, that is Adhisthana, Adhisthana. There is some textbook written by sir, I think. Adhisthana Tattvangal. I think that book is from Raghavan sir. Wish to have that translated to a universal language, and so that we can understand. We really don't understand Malayalam, though having contact with so many Malayalam speakers, scholars, and teachers, still I'm feeling difficult to understand Malayalam. So if it is translated, that really helps, because I heard a lot about that textbook, about the concepts of Raghavan sir, and which is exhibited in the form of Murali sir. I have been associated with him in various associations for so many concepts. Wish to have that textbook translated to a universal language and get the benefit from his core concepts to all, and have success in the treatment. Please have such discussions with small and senior and junior faculties, so that both are happy to teach someone as well as to know more from the senior faculties. Thank you for patient cooperation and providing the platform. And thanks a lot to Prasad sir and Murali sir, and the moderator Gopikrishna sir, who is from my Matru Pradesha, Kannada. So I'm very, very thankful and blessed. And that too, he is from, as Kerala is state of God, same way the Udupi is state of God for the whole universe from Krishna. With the blessings, let us have such discussions every step. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, dignitaries. And many times, as we are so interested in our clinics, we go to the patients, we go to the texts, and we go very deep into it. We think every time, when we practice, when we don't practice, when we are at home, when we are in our personal issues, a doctor has to be alert always and has to think about the patient always. Because what we learn, what we study, what we practice is for the benefit of the patients. But many times when we think about the patient and build up a samprapti, I would rather use the word build samprapti, because it's like a construction of a house. Without all these factors, we cannot complete it. It won't go to a completion always. When we build a samprapti and prescribe a medicine or reach to a conclusion about the diagnosis, we'll be completely baffled, because the nidanas will be somewhere, the samprapti will be somewhere, and the end result of the diagnosis will be somewhere. And we may prescribe an entirely different medicine at times. Just like we say in a Hindi, there is a famous quote called "Kahin pe nigah hai, kahin pe nishana." Nigah will be somewhere, our eyes will be somewhere, and our nishana will be somewhere. It should not be a mishit when we practice or when we diagnose or prescribe a medicine many times. And a sort of approach is very, very essential. To conclude, I would like to quote one incident, one case treated by Vaidya Shastra Mahodadi Sri Valiyanarayan Nambudiri Deham of Vaidyamatham, where he had shared an experience, and I had got it from my colleague Dr. Subin. Sir used to tell a case of a very VIP person in Central Ministry. His wife had visited once to Vaidyamatham for the case of complaints of psoriasis, and hearing all the symptoms very patiently, every history, every nook and corner of the history was taken, because patient is an integral part of the Samprapti, right? If the patient forgets a few history to mention, our Samprapti will be totally wrong at times. So patient is also an important factor in building up a Samprapti and decision making in the diagnosis as well as medicine. When the psoriasis was diagnosed, they went to Vaidyamatham, consulted Valinarayan Nambudri sir, and after patient hearing, there was a single medicine prescribed, and that was Talisapatradi Vatakam. And everyone was surprised, or a few were took to the shock, because how come psoriasis? The person sitting is a VIP in front. A lot of people are there, and he is from central ministry. His wife is the patient, and a single medicine of Talisapatradi Vatakam was prescribed, and it took the surprise. Even it has been documented, because Karunakaran was CM during that time. And in spite of all this, now the one answer that the Vaidya had given was, it was Rasa Dushti, Prathama Dosha Dushti. And for that, Talisapatradi Vatakam is the medicine. And to the surprise of the patient, and to the surprise of the husband of that patient, the case was cured. So, kahin pe nigahein, kahin pe nishana is always a possibility for any sort of physician, that we have to be prepared. Thank you, organizers, for giving me an opportunity to have such a wonderful discussion with eminent scholars. With all the respect, I hand over the dais to Om Prakash sir.
Thank you for the great session, Muraleedharan sir, Sourabh sir, and Gopikrishna sir. It was very enlightening session where the Siddhanta were being brought to the clinical scenario and being explained in a very convincing manner. Thank you again for the great session. Now, I would like to call upon Ms. Asha for giving a brief note about the session and to express the vote of thanks from our side. Asha, are you there? Please carry on.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please.
Okay. Good evening, one and all. Today, I am very proud to be here as being a part of Vagbhata Sameeksha 2020. When Sedhu sir asked me to do a vote of thanks speech for Vagbhata Sameeksha, I was little anxious, since I'm going to attend a platform where very well experienced Vaidyas are present. More than that, I deem this occasion as a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks in this memorable occasion. As we all know that this is our fourth Tadvidya Sambhasha of Vagbhata Sameeksha, and it was a mind-blowing and an extraordinary session on Samprapthhi, what, how, and why. Actually, today I could understand what was the real meaning by word meaning of some definition of Samprapti. Yada dushtena doshena yadatu anuvisarpada nivrittiramesya asau sampraptir jati ragati. And now it has become much clear. I think I have got the meaning what the acharyas had mentioned for that. And we know that Samprapti, that what we call as the pathogenesis of a disease, is a basic knowledge all physicians should know for a treatment for proposing a treatment protocol. And of course, our panel members, Vaidya Muraleedharan sir and Vaidya Sourabh sir, and of course our moderator Vaidya Gopikumar sir, shared various views and experiences regarding the different outlooks of Samprapti, and we have resumed our section, or we have started our section by Gopikumar sir by explaining what is the importance of basic concept in treating a disease, and he briefly explained the definition of Samprapti. over that, our other panel members, Vaidya Muraleedharan sir and Sourabh sir, had broadly explained for us the word by word meaning of definition of Samprapti, and of course the discussion of Samprapti was in a broad concept, as it was in a wide concept. The concept of Sroto, Dushti, Avarana, etc. had been emerged with our discussion. Thank you, sir, for that. And also we have got a small example in case of COVID-19. And also our chat box was much busy, equally busy in this discussion. And I'm getting into my duty on behalf of Vagbhata Sameeksha and the entire fraternity of Tirumulpad Foundation. First of all, I will extend my sincere thanks to Almighty God for making today's session much success. Now, I would like to extend my hearty vote of thanks to Vaidya Muraleedharan sir, who spared his time from his busiest life for to be a part of our discussion. Of course, sir, we have got an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and surely it will encourage us in future. Thank you, Muraleedharan sir. And we are very grateful to have the Vaidya Sourabh sir for his words of encouragement. So your words have enlightened us and have shown a new path, and wish you bright future, sir. Thank you, Sourabh sir. And I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Vaidya Gopikumar sir for his explanation of the topic and for monitoring the whole session and by sharing his experiences and views. Thank you, Gopikumar sir. And surely it will be incomplete if I didn't thank every listeners for their involvement and their willingness to share their experiences and their thoughts. Thank you all. Before winding up, I owe my sincere gratitude to Tirumulpad Foundation for giving me such a good opportunity. I'm concluding by saying that each chapter that we are learning today is going to save someone's life tomorrow. And wishing you all a very good time. Thank you all.
Thank you, Asha. Before winding up, I just briefing about tomorrow's session. Just a second, I'll share the screen of tomorrow's session. As seen in this screen, it's about Tadvidya Sambhasha. But before that, every day morning of Sameeksha, 5:30 to 6:30, we are conducting Swadhyayam on Sarvaroga Nidhanam in Malayalam language. Those whoever wish to join it, please, you are welcome. And in the evening, 6 to 7:30, tomorrow's Tadvidya Sambhasha, conversations on Sarvaroga Nidhanam. The topic is significance of Desha and Kala in Roga Nirnayas. I think it's very important topic which we are not much considering nowadays. The experts are Vaidya K Muraleedharan and Vaidya Arathi madam, and the discussant is Vaidya Anjali.
Sorry, I think Dr. Om Prakash has got some problem with his connection. I think it is already due with our time, so we may stop our session here. And on behalf of Vikyati Foundation, I extend once again the wholehearted thanks and our Kritatnyada Charitarthyam to all of you, and looking forward for further collaborations with the foundation in all academic activities related to the Shastra. Thank you one and all in this room. Thank you once again, respected Murali sir and dear Sourabh sir. Thank you once again. Namaste.